UNDERDREAD, new dingy castle crawling horror title on Steam, or the name for the creeping apprehension you feel after a particularly soggy fart? The answer will shock and surprise you lovelies, because it is in fact neither. UNDERDREAD is actually a retitled re-release of Slender Man Origins 2 Saga that came out last year for Android platforms, with the only difference being that the developers appear to have fixed a few of the more crippling bugs from the original version, and the in-app purchases have been removed. Why? You know, I wish I knew. It's obviously a copyright issue, but while Steam kills unlicensed Slender Man games dead in the water, they show up on Google Apps all the time. I did a little digging into the legality of producing a fictional work on Slender Man, and yeah, it's really no clearer. There was a Half-Life 2 mod called Faceless sitting around waiting to be greenlit forever, despite overwhelming support and the permission of Slender Man's original creator, while other games that were clearly and very directly to do with Slender Man, such as The Intruder, were waved through without issues, so at this point, who bloody knows? It seems like separate parties and option holders own specific elements of Slender Man at this point, which really makes him less terrifying if you look at it like somebody owns his face and Armani sponsor his suits, Captain Birdseye has got his tentacles, and he promotes Monster Energy drinks on the side. But enough about how many corporate dicks Slender Man has crammed up his arse. Let's get into the game itself, which is a very decent, albeit wearily repetitive effort, set largely in a gloomy fortress in the early 18th century. You take the nameless role of a father, travelling the road with his daughter who is abducted from a sleepy village in the dead of night. You learn of a detective in the area who is investigating several other local disappearances, and follow his trail to an isolated castle beyond the woods where your adventure begins with a tutorial! You don't get these anymore. Look! I'm walking to the arrow! It's praising me for performing basic universal tenets of gaming! Yay! UNDERDREAD is predominantly a series of fetch quests with a handful of very light puzzle elements and a metric arseload of cowering behind pillars waiting for unkillable monsters to leave you alone. To help you track down the items you need to progress, you can find and use tip scrolls that will lead you directly to the next particular knick-knack that you need, as well as utilising shield power-ups to get those pesky terror beasts out of your face for a bit. Along the way you'll find plenty of journal entries and in-game mythology to fill you in on what's going on. A neatly dressed faceless humanoid creature, thin and long with pale skin. You know, if I didn't bloody know better... Hang on, neatly dressed? Well, Slender Man's signature three-piece suit certainly wasn't knocking around in the early 18th century, so what terrifying formal garments could he have attired himself in back... Aha! Nice cape! What you can do with that? Battle Doctor Strange in a movie nobody's gonna fucking see. While the game's appearance and satisfying build-up of background plot manages to summon a good level of immersive atmospherics, UNDERDREAD's item hunting is absolutely exhausting, requiring a huge amount of backtracking and guesswork. I think you're only ever directly told once how many of a certain object you're supposed to be looking for, and there's no on-screen notification to let you know when you've finally collected enough of them. An early puzzle had you tracking down switches to lower a pillar. There must be at least 20 of these bloody things squirreled away in every crack and chest you can think of, and you've got to look over your shoulder every 10 fucking seconds to make sure this skeletal aberration isn't creeping up on you. After that, you're collecting coins. How many? Fuck off. Then it's daggers. A number? Balls to you. Then it's holy water that you have to run nearly 2 minutes back to the beginning of the first area to start looking for. Then run all the way back just to be told that you haven't collected enough of it yet. I mean, would a counter or a tracker really have been such a pain in the arse to implement? Irritatingly, these objects are all clustered together. You can see the daggers while you're searching for the switches, for example, but you can't pick them up until the game asks you to, requiring a tiresome level of step retracing, made even more bothersome by constantly having to hide from the patrolling monsters, who really aren't in any rush to go anywhere, quite happy to just move a few meters in one direction and have a rest for a bit while you battle against the urge to use your shield power up out of sheer spite rather than necessity. Likewise, there is forever the temptation to use your tip scrolls to hurry the searching along, but even these will only lead you to a single item and they'll never tell you the amount you actually need. Despite all that, or maybe exactly because of it, words cannot express the satisfaction to be found in finally gathering enough holy water to detonate Super Skeleton in midair like the fucking Death Star. Eat a dick, you failed medical quiz. For me, UNDERDREAD is just the right side of playable. Grueling as its mechanics may be, its charmingly spooky ambience is well realised, and there are some lovely enemy concepts, especially this gruesome portable corridor of tortured corpses that roams the tunnels under the castle. One of us, one of us. Its new title suits it a lot better, as in the end it has very little to really do with Slender Man at all, but it certainly stands well on its own feet and is by far one of the better mobile ports to Steam in recent memory. I approve. Just about. See you next time.